Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's get right into a question that I think is on pretty much everybody's mind these days. Is our constant connection to our phones, to the internet, secretly making our brains weaker? Today, we're going to unpack a really fascinating take that completely flips that fear on its head.
I mean, this is the big one, isn't it? The elephant in the digital room. And you've probably felt it yourself. You pull out your phone for directions to a place you've been to a dozen times, or you Google a simple fact you know you used to know, and that little nagging feeling starts to creep in. Are we losing our edge? Is all this convenience actually a kind of mental decay? Let's dive in.
So let's start with that core anxiety, what we're calling the degeneration question. This is the widespread belief that because of all our tech, something fundamental inside our own heads is starting to break down.
And here's that fear in black and white. The idea that our attention spans are shot, our memories are turning into Swiss cheese, and the actual muscle of our intellect is just withering away. It's a really powerful and, let's be honest, a pretty scary story. But is it the whole story?
To really get a grip on where we are now, we have to understand where we came from. So let's hit the rewind button and go back to what we might call the age of memory.
Now, this slide really captures a world that wasn't that long ago. In this analog age, especially for the generations that were rebuilding the world, your brain was literally everything. It was your library, your map, your instruction manual. Knowledge wasn't just power, it was the basic hardware you needed just to get through life.
And here it is. This is the central shift we're talking about. We used to run on an internal hard drive, our own brain. Super powerful for sure, but its storage space for raw data was limited. Now, we've plugged ourselves into an external hard drive, technology. And its capacity? Well, it's pretty much infinite. So the brain's main job is changing, from just memorizing stuff to being really good at storing and retrieving it.
But here's the thing. This big change wasn't really a choice. It was something we had to do. The old system was completely maxed out. Because you see, the world changed under our feet. The amount of information just exploded. Science, art, data, everything got deeper, more complex, and just bigger. The sheer volume of it all became way too much for our old internal system to handle.
Trying to cram this absolute ocean of new information into our limited brain space was basically causing a system crash. The source material calls it a circuit failure. We all started to feel overwhelmed, stressed out, totally unable to process everything. The old way of thinking just wasn't cutting it anymore.
But humans are incredibly adaptable. When one tool isn't enough, we build a better one. And that leads us to this kind of brilliant solution that our minds have come up with together. And this is the key. We are not getting dumber. We're getting smarter by outsourcing the heavy lifting of memorization. We've basically created a shared external brain to hold all the facts and figures, which frees up our own internal processor for much more interesting jobs.
Now, the crucial point here is that this isn't about having an empty head. It's about having a clear mind. Think about it. When your brain isn't cluttered trying to remember phone numbers and random dates, it's free. It's free to be in the moment, to have a deeper conversation, to actually connect different ideas in new and creative ways. You're free to think, not just to remember.
And this huge mental shift doesn't just change us as individuals. It completely rewrites the social rulebook.
Just let that one sink in for a second. This idea argues that knowledge was never supposed to be some private treasure you lock away. It's a collective resource, It's our shared inheritance. Trying to hoard it is like trying to bottle up the air.
So in this new world, there's a new social contract. Your value isn't measured by how much stuff you can keep in your head. It's measured by what you contribute to the collective pool. You gain status and respect by sharing what you know, by adding to that external hard drive so that everyone can benefit.
And the other side of that coin is just as important. In a world where information is basically everywhere, the person who keeps their knowledge to themselves, well, they become irrelevant. The people who are going to be listened to, who are going to be respected, are the ones who put their ideas out into the world.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. What we first worried was a sign of our minds breaking down is actually a sign of something way, way bigger.
This right here is the ultimate reframe. The myth is that we're degenerating. The reality? We're evolving. We're not getting weaker, we're actually getting more advanced. We're not losing an ability, we're leveling up. We're shedding this lower-level task of mass memorization so that our minds are free for a much higher purpose.
This is what's being called our advanced evolution.
We're changing from being simple information storage units into being highly sophisticated processors. Our main job is no longer to be the database. Our job is to use the database to create, to connect, and to solve problems we never could have before.
And what this leads to is a pretty incredible vision for the future. All the knowledge from our past isn't some sacred idol to be worshipped. It's the launch pad. Our real task is to take that foundation and build something new and better on top of it. The author of our source material actually believes this new era, which they say kicked off around 2013, gives us the mental freedom to finally solve humanity's biggest, most difficult problems.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If we really embrace this idea that our brains aren't breaking, but are actually being set free, well, that just opens up a whole universe of possibilities. With all our minds connected and cleared for takeoff, what are we capable of now? What great problems can we finally solve together? Thanks for tuning in.